In 2009, Japan was introduced to whatever this was, and they loved it because they are Japan. Tomodachi Collection was a strange new game where you put Miis on an island and watch them gradually have sex with each other. Although you don't get to see the woohoo happening, your main goal is to help them out and watch them form relationships with each other. Of course, there's more to it than that. Well, not really actually. This game is really limited with what you can get your islanders to do. Because of the Nintendo DS's piss-poor power, the AI and interactivity falls pretty short. Even with that though, the game was a hit in Japan, but never saw a release outside the land of the rising sun. It featured a text-to-speech synthesizer that allowed for Miis to speak directly to you, and it allowed for some kind of personal connection with islanders that you couldn't really get otherwise. Of course, I've done a video on Tomodachi Life, this game's sequel, and I tried to find out if you could beat the game in one day. It's possible, but not without a fuck ton of RNG luck and manipulation. So, what about this game? Well, I have a warrant out for my arrest, and just so happen to have a DS with me while I live with an undocumented alien, so what the hell, let's give it a try. So to start, this is a fan translation. Obviously, the original is only in Japanese, so thankfully the fans have allowed us fat Americans to play in full English glory. You'll notice that this game is extremely similar to its sequel. It's the same routine. Name the island that your Miis are going to be fucking on, and then make your lookalike. The first Mii you make in this game is supposed to be you. It's somewhat of a self-insert and really gets you immersed in the shithole you're about to live on. This Mii maker here is based off the Wii's Mii channel, so there's a lot less options to customize these assholes. Of course, we name our Miis and give them a birthday, a favorite color, a nickname, their blood type. What the fuck? Yeah, exclusive to the Japanese version of the Tomodachi games is choosing a blood type. Apparently it's some cultural shit, but to my giant American brain, that's fucking weird and disgusting. And you can't even choose negative or positive blood types. Forget getting gay marriage in Tomodachi Life. You wanna talk non-inclusive? I can't customize my fucking blood type. And if you're making a Mii of someone else, it really makes for a great search history. When it comes to the voices, Jesus fucking Christ. Forget about nails on a chalkboard. This is like shoving a cheese grater in your ear. The English patch translates all the text, but the text-to-speech remains in all its Japanese glory. You can use an English keyboard to type, but the Miis just say all the letters individually instead of saying them as a word. Once you finish your creation, the apartment building opens up, and you get to meet the beginning of your mental health decline. He wants a friend, so you throw together some bitch for him and then throw her in. But not without choosing her blood type first. They get introduced to each other and talk about God knows what, probably discussing race issues, and then they smash their skulls together. The beginning of the game is all about interrupting you, to slowly introduce everything the game has to offer, just like in Tomodachi Life. Speaking of Tomodachi Life, as you play through this game, you'll start to notice how much of the music is the exact same. The first thing you unlock is the food store, where you can buy sustenance. This is the first of many things to unlock. In this video, I'm defining beating the game as unlocking everything. Getting every location on the map, seeing all the scripted news flashes, and completing the rankings board. Everything has its own little requirements for unlocking it, so it's gonna take a lot of patience to get where I want to be. Speaking of, newsflash. Yeah, I know you can skip these. I had a lot of people tell me last time that I can skip the news flashes. I knew I could skip them, but it didn't change the fact that they're annoying as fuck. Anyway, a lot of the places on the island get unlocked after reaching a milestone with the islanders. When you solve enough problems, you get a new store. When you spawn enough islanders, you get some other new shit. Stuff like that. So I plan on making a bunch of islanders like I did last time to speed up the process. Speaking of creating islanders, you can transfer Miis between other players and even send and receive Miis through the Mii channel on your Wii. How cool is that? You can cross-contaminate your systems with these fucking assholes. The only thing any of them are good for is giving you money once a day, but they're all fucking cheap as shit. They're all also boring as fuck. They have like nothing cool to say and they're all stupid. You really have to go the extra mile to make them entertaining. Listen to this idiot. His voice is so fucking unbearable. It sounds like he's talking in Morse code. And then he gives me a job ticket. What an asshole. By the way, if you want to use any of the Miis you receive from transfers, you have to manually add them from Town Hall. And none of their info carries over, so you gotta fill in the nickname and favorite color again. It's such a waste of time. Why don't they make me scratch his back while I'm at... Oh. So instead of sneezing like in Tomodachi Life, their backs itch. It's really fucking exhilarating. What an upgrade. We didn't know how good we had it when we were kids. We really were born in the perfect generation. You get 6 chances to find the itch, and if you don't, then you lose. Fantastic. It feels like Miis have problems a lot less often than they do in Tomodachi Life. Early on in the game, there's a whole lot of nothing, leading me to just mass procreate, filling up the world with hate, one Mii at a time. Holy fuck, Howard's in love. It's extremely early on in the game, and I was not expecting this. This is perfect because there are a couple spots on the island that require Miis to confess their love to each other. Always be arrogant. Classroom. What the fuck is this shit? The same thing in Tomodachi Life. Where is the school? There is no fucking school. Why are these people going to school? Howard is in his 60s. Should you change into different clothes? What clothes? You have no clothes. I just started the game like 10 minutes ago. Wow. Jesus Christ, what a bitch. Now he's depressed. You gotta cheer him up, but there's only so much you can use this early on in the game. I do have that job ticket, though. Yeah, here, have a job ticket. Because if anything's gonna cure your depression, it's getting a job. When you diagnose Mies with an occupation, their heads just float in between two JPEGs. You can move their head around, but you don't really actually do anything. This is the extent of Mies having a job. There's really nothing else I can do, so you're just gonna have to hang in there for a while. You'll get rid of your depression in no time. Looks like he already cured himself. Back scratching? God, it's so much fun. I won it this time, and I got an antacid. Time to feed Eglop. It looks like he's really into shortcake, and as a thanks, he gave me a camera. Looks pretty disposable. Anyway, I'm giving Howard the camera to see what he does with it. He took pictures of goats. Still depressed, though. So as you can see here, like I said earlier, all of these buildings get unlocked when you do something specific, and a lot of them just require the population to reach a certain number, so it's in my best interest to pump out these goons as fast as I can. It's detrimental to my health, but the sooner it's all over, the sooner I can abandon all these pricks in the dirt they walk on. The clothes store is now open, and with that, people are gonna start asking me to buy them clothes. I bought Howard a new shirt, and finally he's back to his former self. Thank you for the hypnosis set, you freak. Maybe we can convince some of these other assholes to kill themselves. Or to be showered with pepper. This is disgusting. Hypnosis sets basically just let you replay any dreams your Mies have had. Mine haven't had any yet, so I don't know why it defaulted to this one. The rankings board is now here, and I can keep track of who I care about the least. How exciting. Fuck you. Also, the interior shop where I can buy interiors for those without interiors. I have no idea how the best condition ranking works. I can't find a solid answer online either. The game says it's based on birth dates, but I have no clue what the fuck that means. And the interior shop sucks because I can barely afford anything. Maybe if these pieces of shit weren't running me dry, I could buy new things. Eglop's gonna have to live in ruin for now. I've been playing for about an hour now, and there's been very little variety. The only thing I have to do most of the time is make new Mies, but you can only make so many in a row before you start to mentally deteriorate. The news station is open, by the way, and it functions the same way it does in Tomodachi Life. Once a day, one of your Mies reports a bullshit story. It's all randomly generated. By the way, you gotta love the town thoughts here. Full of complaints. Shut the fuck up. And it says that as if I can do anything about it. No one has problems right now. I'm just making more fuckers over and over again. What the hell is this shit? Obviously, the first time you play this, you're not gonna sit there and try to beat it in one day, but surely you're gonna play more than 1 hour of it. There's like nothing left to do. At least in Tomodachi Life, it always felt like you could do something to pass the time. Here, the only thing you can do is make me after me, hoping that by the time you're done, someone will have a problem. Eventually, the building will expand because all you're doing is making Mies. In all seriousness, it's not a great time. It's tedious and boring. Waiting for shit to do is the worst part about this game. There's only so much patience in the fucking world. And all these problems are the same. There's no variety. It's all just, do you think me and this fucking idiot should be friends? Can you feed me? Can you give me clothes? Thanks, here's a music box. After a grueling hour and a half, the job diagnostics tent is now open. Nothing is less suspicious than a tent at the bottom of a hill. Here you can select a Mii and then it tells you what their future job is going to be. It's basically a free version of that job ticket we used earlier. It's pretty fun the first few times you use it, but after a bit, it's not too interesting. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is like the most interesting thing to happen in like an hour. But there's only so many different job titles, and after a while, you start to see repeats. It's kind of fun though. The idea of teaching phrases to Mies is something that originated in this game. Here's the issue. You only get 8 fucking letters. I guess you can fit more ideas with less characters in Japanese, but I don't really see a reason to limit it to 8 letters. It's also our first level up. Yep, that's right. Eglop has just leveled up. We get to give him something, and there's a few options to choose from. I think there's nothing more beautiful than the gift of music. Now we can have Eglop sing a song, but get this. You can't write your own lyrics. What the fuck kind of shit is that? There's just a bunch of preset options, and most of them are in Japanese. The English selection is super limited, and none of the words make any fucking sense out of context. That's fucking lame. So if you only speak English, all you can do is make these weird broken English songs that make no goddamn sense, and they pick the weirdest words to have in English. The word selection is different on each of the verses, so you can only use certain words on certain lines. I believe it's so the syllables match up. The only thing they let you write is the title. What you end up getting is whatever the hell this is. The English is all shitty Japanese English, so it just sounds insane. I'm sure if you speak Japanese, you could probably have more fun with this, but I think most of the fun here comes from blindly filling out this Mad Libs-like lyric sheet with whatever the fuck word you see first. Video games really are a form of art. I'd like to believe that I'm more prone to going insane than I was when I played Tomodachi Life, but truthfully, I'm starting to feel fucking nauseous. These Japanese assholes piss me off, and they're all just prolonging this hell I'm going through. They know what they're doing, too. Fuck them all. Oh, also, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this game looks fucking terrible. Yeah, just thought I should say that. Even on the DS I played on, it looked like shit. Go ahead and comment that it was on a handheld from 2004. I don't give a shit. It looks like cock. But it runs at 60 frames, which is pretty cool since most DS games run at 30 FPS. Not even the sequel on 3DS runs at 60 FPS. By the way, they give you way more characters if you give someone a catchphrase to say when they level up. So what's the fucking excuse? There is none, it's just stupid. Another genius decision by the developers of handheld torture. Since I'm playing this in one day also, the donation jar won't be refilling again in this playthrough. The game runs on a counter that keeps track of 24-hour intervals, so even if I change the system clock, I won't be getting more money. The donations hold precedence over any events going on at the fountain, but if you show up at different times of the day, there's a plethora of events you can participate in, such as Street Live, English Lesson 1, English Lesson 2, Street Live again. I'll get into all of them, but for now, let's disturb the fabric of time and visit the morning market. He's selling juice. How fun. God, shut the fuck up. Anyway, the next thing up is Street Live, which I'm assuming is some kind of performance. They just play instruments for one person. It's honestly depressing. They play a song from the game, and at the end you can clap for them if you feel so inclined. Then they just play again. That's it. That's the fucking Street Live? What a waste of my fucking life. And it takes up 2 time slots on the activity board. Who's responsible for this shit? Why did they do this? If you're lucky enough to make it in time to the English lessons, make sure you kill yourself because this shit is so great. There's one of your fucking dipshit islanders standing there asking stupid fucking questions to brain-dead idiots who suck dick. They just do this over and over and over again. All the questions have to do with being friends with other Miis and what items they do and don't have, but some of them are weird as shit. It's funny to me that they obviously are programmed to speak some kind of English, but still won't pronounce their own English names. This reminds me of the cafe talks from Tomodachi Life, and in the same way, if you get stuck listening to a Mii with a shitty voice, just leave, because hearing the shit they have to say is not just unbearable, but it's also completely unintelligible. And that's it. There's no other scheduled activities at the fountain. It's such a shame because all of them really suck. Usually you would turn to them to kill some time until someone has a problem, but they're all pretty shitty and you don't even interact with the Miis, you just watch them. It's a real bummer, especially since the time frame these activities happen in are pretty slim. Distraught thinks he's in love, so I'm gonna humor this. It would be really nice to have a couple on this island, but I don't have too much confidence in this guy. You know it's a good day in the Tomodachi world when someone says they're in love with excrement. Jesus, everyone on this island's a fucking prick. These guys are just assholes to each other. Now he's depressed, as if he wasn't enough already. The popular girl ranking is now here. Now you can keep track of all the sluts on the island. Look at all these girls. None of them would fuck Eglop. Anyway, I don't have enough stuff to undepress Distraught, so he's fucked. The compatibility tester. How great. Now I can test the relationship potential between Miis. Not that I can do anything with that, but it's something to kill time with. If the 2 Miis are the same gender, it tests them as friends, and if the Miis are opposite sex, it tells you the likelihood of them fucking. Once again, it's fun to dick around with for a bit, but it doesn't entertain too long. Sometimes you get funny results, but once again, how many minutes do you think this will entertain you? Probably not many. So back to making more Miis. That's the true cure to boredom in this game. It doesn't get any better than it was the first time you made a Mii, but it sure is the only thing to do. That and time travel, which also doesn't help by the way. There's still barely anything to do. Playing Tomodachi Life before this game really puts into perspective how much the little add-ons to the sequel really helped it stay entertaining. Not that Tomodachi Life never got boring, but it definitely felt like there was more to do in that game at its worst than there is at any point in this game. I've been playing for 3 hours now, and I just found a leaf on Turk's head. How sad is it that that's the most interesting thing to happen to me in the past 45 minutes? I finally got this dumbass out of his depression, and also I gotta say, I'm fucking sick of this game. I have a fucking migraine from playing this shit, and I'm not joking. This is brutal. Nothing is changing, and I need a break from this living hell. I think I'll put the game down for a little. If I don't shoot myself before I come back, let's see if we can get more stuff going on the island. I toyed with the idea of shooting myself, but after a 25-minute break, I think I'm ready to return to X Video Island. There's a mosquito in my room. Well, now it's dead. Thanks for the $200. Let's skip the shit. I want to get stuff done. There's still a bit to unlock, and I look more and more forward to dying every minute I play this. I'm really trying not to be negative here, but holy fuck, I hate all these pieces of shit and dealing with their stupid garbage. I'm going on 4 hours of this shit, and I've enjoyed around 6 minutes of it. In all seriousness, binge playing this game is far more mental illness inducing than its sequel. I would do anything to visit X Hamster Island right now, but I can't, so let's just move on and grow a pair of balls. Newsflash! Who are the most popular people on my island? Wow, incredible. This is based on who has the most friends and their relationships with them. A real stellar lineup, so many friendly faces. I look forward to seeing more faces on there soon. After like 3 minutes, by the way, I'm back in that slump of nothing happening. It really sucks, and filling in the time sucks too. It's deteriorating my fucking brain, and it's so unbearable. By the way, in the Tomodachi Life games, what you can and can't say differs depending on the region. Thankfully, in the Japanese games, English profanity slides under the door, so you can be a dirty, racist pig all you want. It's not as fun though, since all the me speak Japanese. Moving on, the island is booming. More and more fuckers making their mark on X Video. So many fuckers, in fact, that the apartment building has expanded. Fantastic. An additional 3 stories have been added, allowing for a new, even easier way to remove yourself from this island. I'm sure everyone's excited to see more people arriving. I'm not though. There's only 2 locations left on the island to unlock, and the rest of the unlocks are on the rankings board. I noticed that the pawn shop here unlocks after you collect 5 assets. Assets? Where the fuck do you get assets? In Tomodachi Life, they're called treasures, and you get them from playing games with islanders. I've been playing this game for just under 4 hours now, and the only games I've seen are the back scratching and the fly swatting one, and I got antacids from them. I've gotten 2 treasures from giving people vacation tickets, but is that really the only way to get them? I need 3 more to unlock the pawn shop, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see. Other than that, the other spots in the island just require more problems to be solved. A few of the lists on the rankings board have some unique requirements related to what they're about. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. It's kind of like when you watch someone die in front of you and your mental state just never recovers. It's like self-induced brain damage. There's no benefit to this, and whether or not you know if you can beat this game in one day has no effect on when you die. But it does have an effect on when I'll die, and hopefully that will be within the next hour. Jumping around with time and changing the clock has no effect on whether islanders have new problems or not. It's just an illusion meant to trick you into believing you have some kind of control over the world you created, when in reality it has control over you. Creating new me's gives some false sense of progression by speeding up the problem-solving process, but realistically, you're just contributing to your own misery, perpetuating further and further into a user-created hell that feels closer to endless than something circumscribed. Hey, Question Hall just opened. It's basically just a bundle of quirky questions and Judgment Bay. You can pick either and play them at any time. It literally works in the exact same way as it does in Tomodachi Life. All your Miis run to the left or right to pick an option. It's random, but you can still have some fun with it. It's limited to 2 options though. In the 3DS game, you can have up to 4 options. Questions is somehow less fun than writing words in 2 boxes. You get a grand total of 10 characters to write something, which really limits what you can ask. It pretty much restricts you to 1 word, maybe 2. It's one of those situations where you can fit more thoughts in if you type in Japanese. But of any of the text prompts to limit so much, why this one? Such a brain-dead fucking decision. Remember earlier when I talked about using the hypnosis set to replay dreams your Miis have had? Well, now that the clock is set to nighttime, the fuckasses are falling asleep and some of them are having dreams. If you find one that's sleeping but not dreaming like Jeff Keighley here, you can draw on his face. If they're having a dream, then you get whatever the fuck this is. Well, there's a bunch of different dreams, and just like 95% of the shit in this game, if you've played Tomodachi Life, you get the gist. At this point, I'm surprised this game was so popular in Japan. It just has so little content compared to the sequel, and I really don't think I feel this way because I've been playing it for 5 hours. That's why I feel like brain damage is the only way to continue enjoying this game after a certain point. What the game offers can only take you so far. It's up to you to become mentally ill. The best friend rank is now open, and here we can see which islanders are the best friends and which ones fucking hate each other. It just shows the results from the compatibility tester. Same goes for the best lover rank, which is also unlocked. Both of these ranks get unlocked after you use the compatibility tester enough. I've been playing this game for over 5 hours now, and out of fucking nowhere, someone wants to play a game. How the hell have I been playing for 5 hours, and it wasn't until now that someone wants to play a game? And it's over in under 2 seconds. and it was just a look away minigame from Mario Party 1. The porn shop is finally open, and I don't fucking care. I can sell all my nothing now. What the fuck is Slimy Ass doing, by the way? He wants to play funny Korean game, and it's super easy to win. You just have to reach him in under 30 seconds. You gotta love the shitty soundboard kids laughing. I'm so glad they kept that in the sequel. So at this point, all the places on the map are unlocked, and all that remains are 2 ranking boards lists. I am, no joke, actually nauseous from this shit, and I need to take a little break. The 2 ranks left to unlock are the most favored rank and the popular guys rank. The favored rank gets unlocked when you solve 90 problems, and the popular guys rank is unlocked when a girl confesses her love to a guy. That's the one I'm worried about because everyone on the island fucking hates each other, and I don't blame them. They all suck ass and should die. But I'm gonna put the game down for a while. Half an hour later, here I am and nothing has fucking happened. I keep playing games, solving the same stupid problems, changing time, watching dreams, making me's, drawing dicks, and checking charts. After 40 minutes, I eventually unlocked the favored ranking and dicked around with that, but it didn't fill in the void in my soul. There's one final thing to unlock, and that's the popular guys rank. It doesn't surprise me that it's come down to this. Here's your obligatory highlight reel of the stupid shit because I've run out of stuff to say and I can't stand living.
I have no best friend.
The will to live is deteriorating, and wouldn't you know it, jack shit has happened. What's new? Nothing. Nothing is new. The suffering has reached so far that it's becoming hard to pick apart the pain. I don't know when it's getting worse anymore, I just know it is. Fuck. I'm reaching the end of the day, and there's nothing I can do but hope. I'm half an hour away from 8 hours of playing this shit. At this point, it's all about being patient. Making me's all the same old shit. It's really about training your brain to kill itself. You have to stop caring about reality. The thing about it is, there's no way to predict how much longer this is gonna go on. Like I said, to unlock the popular guys rank, you have to get a girl to confess her love to a guy. So, first of all, you have to get lucky and have someone want to confess their love. And on top of that, you have a 50-50 chance that it's a girl. Once you get that, you're all set. Whether or not they get together doesn't matter, as long as they, oh my god, this is it. Holy fucking god, this is it. It's over. She's gonna do it. I don't give a fuck. Be depressed for the rest of your life for all I care. Go fuck yourself. The final rank is finally unlocked. That's it. It's all over. After almost 9 hours, everything on the island is unlocked. So, all in all, yes, you can beat Tomodachi Collection in one day. When I played Tomodachi Life, I came to the conclusion that you couldn't beat that game in one day, but truthfully, you can beat it in one day. The reason I came to that conclusion was because the likelihood of all the needed RNG lining up exactly how you need it to, multiple times in a 24-hour period, isn't impossible, but it's improbable. There's way too much to consider in that game to make beating it in one day seem possible, but who knows, maybe I'll go back to it one day. You might have noticed that I didn't see any credits after unlocking everything, and that's because the credits only play once two Miis get married. Compare this to Tomodachi Life, where some places on the island are locked behind not only two Miis getting married, but also having a kid. The Mii houses require you to get two Miis married, and the campground requires you to send one of your couple's kids to travel the world, or receive a kid traveler through Street Pass. So even if you skip the kid growing up, which takes 6 days by the way, you would need another copy of the game with a married couple with a kid who is on his 6th day of living, and then time it so the Mii gets sent off at the right time, and then hope that your island gets the Street Pass tag, which isn't even guaranteed anyway. It's fucking insane. So because of that, Tomodachi Collection is unfathomably easier to beat in one day than Tomodachi Life is. And on top of everything in both games, it all comes down to RNG and random luck. Even things you can manipulate come down to RNG. For example, in Tomodachi Life, you can use vacation tickets to speed up the relationship between two islanders, but not only is that not guaranteed, but you also have to factor in getting a vacation ticket from a Mii out of all the other items you can get. It's not happening. This was a fucking awful experience, and I don't recommend anyone try to beat this game in one day. But playing it really made me realize how much more playable the sequel is. I love both games, but holy fuck if the sequel isn't leagues better. No matter what your strategy here is, you can't predict anything. The only mutual outcome is wanting to die. It doesn't matter the stress you endured through it all. What matters is what you take away from it. And I'm taking away suicidal thoughts. And at the end of the day, I think that's what matters most. I'm Bearman, and I've been wasting your time. Thanks for watching.